Det betyder rigtig meget, at I står her sammen. Jeg vil gerne lige anmode om, hvis man kan træde lidt.
It's the Nudie Nook. It's on in English. It's now it's enough, because we are tired of being pushed by the Americans. So that's our own little statement. But this one is the original one. It's totally sold out. It was sold out in one day. Then we printed some ourselves for the good cause.
Mexicans deporting Americans is the funniest thing I've learned this year so far. Apparently, Mexican authorities are deporting Americans who have colonized along the beaches and nicer areas of Mexico who do not have the proper documentation. So yes, they've been deporting them back to the States. And you know, it's ironic because Americans are like, oh, pack up your bags, you gotta go home or whatever. And well, the Americans who have thought to exhaust Mexican resources and go live the cheap life, right? In nice areas, well, pack up your bags and let's wrap it up.
I'm here to support the Greenlanders that have a very hard time, heavy time now, sleeping, very concerned. They are threatened to have their country invaded. I think it's totally unacceptable.
I want to show my support to Greenland, and to also show that I don't like the President of the United States.
He's just arrogant and a very big bully. He does not care of anything. His way of saying things are just so specific and so disrespectful and hateful that it's just hurting everybody around him.
Hi guys, it's your girl Bleezy and you're welcome back to Bleezy React channel. And if you are joining us for the first time, we appreciate you. You are welcome. And also do well to subscribe to our channel for more unfiltered gist. Currently, in several countries, frustration with US politics is splitting into how Americans are being received, especially those openly associated with Maga, not through mobs or chaos, but through tightened rules, colder reception, and growing distance. So guys, join me as we get into more videos.
Mexicans want Americans to self-deport themselves out of Mexico. Yes, you heard me right. The Mexicans are saying, hey, Americans, it's time to go home. Deport yourself out of our country. Protesters took to the streets in Mexico City saying, no more gringos, stop stealing our land, demanding that local leaders regulate tourism and have stricter housing laws, saying that Americans cannot come in and buy up all the property there. Protesters soon became violent as they started smashing storefronts, looting stores, and harassing and screaming at tourists that are simply walking on the streets, telling them to go home. During 2020, a lot of Americans moved to Mexico because they could live cheaply there and they could continue to work in their American-based companies, so they were living large. Rent in the past 5 years has increased by 47%, and the people in Mexico are done with it. They're saying, we have had a mass invasion of Americans. They're taking over our land. They're bringing their culture here, and we're done. So Americans need to deport themselves out of Mexico. Sounds kind of familiar, right? We had a mass invasion here. Now we're trying to send people out of our country. Mexico's doing the same thing, saying, Americans, it's time for you to go home. We want our land back. Let me know your thoughts on this one.
If you're looking for some good news right now, a lot of MAGA supporters are having their wives deported. If you don't know, there's a pretty common trend among some MAGA men that they marry women from other countries. You might have heard the term passport bro. Could be a country in Europe or Asia, but overall they are getting wives from other countries because American women don't like them. I've heard of multiple reports, specifically in Fresno, California, which is a pretty conservative agricultural town where I happen to have been born, that people there are being deported. One of these couples, the wife is from France, and her 87-year-old mother is living here as well. They're both being deported despite the red MAGA hats they wear outside every single day. This has been happening a lot in California, Texas, and Florida among MAGA couples. And of course, they never thought that it was going to happen to them because they only thought it would happen to black and brown immigrants. But yes, they are actively being taken out of the country, sobbing with their red MAGA hats on. And that's the thing about this administration. They do not give a fuck about tearing families apart, even people that have been good citizens. And I do really feel for the poor grandmother who's almost 90 years old that's going to have to start a new life. But at least some of these people are learning what happens when you vote for an authoritarian, because they do not care about you individually, even if you're white.
The United States is telling U.S. citizens in Venezuela to flee by any means possible after armed militias, paramilitary groups have begun tracking them down. And now they're setting up roadblocks around all major cities and around all major ports and airports, attempting to capture U.S. citizens in the country of Venezuela. They said this is a dire threat, and in times past, they would have sent in the military or a government aircraft and security, or they would have paid for commercial flights. But they don't have the ability to do that right now due to the situation on the ground. So they are saying, if you're a U.S. citizen in Venezuela, leave. Go into hiding, get out of the country. It's almost like if you do a leadership change in a regime like this, and then you don't have any guarantees that, things fall apart, which is exactly what is happening. And we're going to continue to see things like this happen. And it's known that Darcy Rodriguez is much, much harsher of a person than Maduro ever was.
The only reason I'm being rude is because I was booed by a waitress.
Freedom of speech, and so does she. So
freedom of speech? Is this? Okay. So I'm not welcome here just because of this MAGA hat.
She never said that. You were outside on the street.
Am I not welcome?
You're totally
I walked up with my friend to have a drink and hang out, and then she just booed me.
I understand the situation.
Tell me who the owner is.
Gary Rack. It's on the sign
What
outside.
What is it?
You can write a review.
Should I leave because of my MAGA hat, or can we just?
No, it's not because of the hat at all.
I'm pretty sure. Is it the hat? Because you're the one who booed me. Is it the hat? No. I walked into this restaurant. This lady is booing me as I'm walking in. What's your name? And you're the manager, right? Okay. So how is this appropriate that a waitress can boo a guy walking into a restaurant?
That's not appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't agree with that.
And what is your name? My name is Mike. And this is a franchise? I got kicked out of this bar because I was wearing a MAGA hat.
Hey, fellow Americans, what do we think of these anti-MAGA protests going on in other countries? You didn't know about this? I didn't know about it either, and I read the news every day. I only learned because one of my business acquaintances in a foreign country said, hey, I haven't seen you post about this. I didn't post about it because I didn't know about it, but I did a little bit of research, and yeah, there are protests in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, in Central and South America. There are people protesting in solidarity with us against this fascist regime. And there is no news about it in the United States. There are no posts doing numbers about it in American social media. And I actually asked some of my more informed friends, and they're like, I made a post about it and it got taken down. I made a post about it and it did no numbers. So clearly they're throttling the fact, because he bought all the news, they're throttling the fact that other countries are supporting us in resistance against him. And I never asked for videos to be shared, and you don't have to share this video. Just share this sentiment, share this knowledge with other Americans. Because if there's one thing we need to know right now is that we're not fucking alone against this shit.
The Mexican president is deporting Americans. Yes, you heard it. There's a lot of Americans who use their little social security check and get it direct deposited, and they pick it up in these border towns, or they'll move to Oaxaca, and they're retired out deep in Mexico. But now they are all undocumented. They need to be paying taxes in Mexico if they're going to be residents of Mexico, and Manuel López Obrador is going to tax them. And if they don't want to pay taxes and they don't want to pay their fines, they're going to be deported back to the USA. USA! This is a MAGA nightmare, and I love it.
Are you all watching what's taking place around the world right now? Our own allies are turning on us. Our friends are abandoning the United States in real time. This is Copenhagen, Denmark. People out there with the flags of Greenland protesting the United States. Thousands of them. Copenhagen right now. Here's another angle of that protest in Copenhagen. Here's Greenland. Yankee go home, because Donald Trump is threatening to invade Greenland. Here's a sign that was seen at that protest. F Trump, F Vance, F USA. This is Greenland right now. They have a population of tens of thousands, and many of them are out in the streets protesting against the United States. The Prime Minister of Sweden said, "We will not let ourselves be blackmailed. Only Denmark and Greenland decide issues concerning Denmark and Greenland. I will always stand up for my country and for our allied neighbors." Emmanuel Macron of France also put out a statement saying that they stand with Denmark and Greenland. They're sending troops to Greenland to participate in military exercises against the United States. Leaders from a number of different European countries have come out and condemned Donald Trump, condemned his tariff threat, condemned his possible invasion of Greenland. The world is turning on us. Our friends are turning on us. Our allies are turning on us. It is embarrassing for the United States on the world stage right now.
I wasn't gonna make this video because honestly I feel like it's crazy to me, because they always say what goes around comes around. Hi to the Americans that's in Mexico. How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel? Y'all feel good? Y'all okay? Nah, but seriously, put all jokes aside. Mexico deporting all the Americans that's over there is crazy. To the same, because y'all have some of these Americans that always say, oh well, go back to y'all country. They love saying that. Now y'all getting sent back home. If this isn't the true fact of what goes around comes around, I don't know what else is, because that's crazy, y'all. Like, I mean, come back to America, baby. Come bring y'all asses back over here, because what y'all doing over there? And you know what Mexico needs to do? They need to put y'all in a cell. You know that cell that you go, they put y'all in, that America put Mexican and all the other like people that's coming over, like a dirty ass cell, cold cell. That's what they need to put y'all in and hold y'all for 6 days. I feel like that's what they need to do. The same thing that America did to the Mexicans, the Jamaicans, the Africans, everybody that's coming over illegally. That's what they need to do to y'all nosy asses.
We have another pro-Trump, pro-Republican immigrant who FAFO'd, went to bat for Donald Trump heavy last November, and has just been ordered to get the fuck out of the country. Let's get into it. So I present to you Flacco Will. Heavy Trump guy, has almost 1 million followers on TikTok. He has spent the last couple of months in the ICE detention. Here, let's look at it. So you can see right here, October 2025, he was detained by ICE. They sent him to Alcatraz of the Everglades. He wanted this for other people, and it got his ass locked up and sent to the place called Alcatraz of the Everglades for 3 months. Well deserved, my boy. Then on January 13th, he was granted voluntary departure from a judge down in Miami, meaning he must leave the U.S. or face formal deportation. He hates Maduro, so I highly doubt he's going back to his home country of Venezuela. So God only knows where this man is going to end up, but it sure ain't this country, and I'm highly doubting it's his home country. I mean, I don't take joy in this shit unless they are MAGA. When they are MAGA, you don't understand the joy that I feel when they have to feel this fucking pain that they wanted to inflict on other families.
Some governments are becoming more cautious, some communities are less welcoming, and some travelers say their political identity now sharpens how they are treated overseas. For many abroad, it isn't about individual Americans. It's about what Maga has come to represent globally: division, instability, and politics that reach far beyond US borders. What used to stay domestic now travels with a passport. The moment is forcing a realization. National politics don't end at the airport gate. When a movement becomes a global symbol, reactions become global too. So guys, tell me what you think in the comment sections. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more unfiltered gist. See you guys on the next one. Bye.